I'm going to do this both ways. Okay, I will use FOIL. I will also use what I call the split method. I don't know whether it's actually called the split method, but some people, Butch, prefer the split method. Cool? All right, which one do you want me to do first? I'll do the FOIL first. Just because most of you asked for the other one. Okay, so I do first by first. What's the first in each set of brackets? PQ. Which will give you PQ. What's the outside one in each bracket? Thank you. Negative 4p. Then what's the inner? What's the last by last? Is there any like terms to collect? Then is that your answer? Cool. Now, I'll do it the other way. What they do is they take, and I'll get rid of the little arcs. Not necessarily, because it's actually used when you do some factorizing later on. It's actually quite useful to know this method. Okay, when you're doing non-monics and stuff like that, this method is actually quite useful. But I don't really like it for expansion because it takes too many steps and I'm lazy. But let's do it so we know. So what do? I split the first bracket up. So I go P, and then I do that bracket. Then I do plus 3, and I do that bracket again. Cool? All I've done is split up the first bracket and multiply each term by the next bracket. Does that make sense? Okay, if I had a third term, like a plus L, I'd put that at the end. Okay, so you can do the same as the other one. You can keep going and going and going. We don't have that one, so I'm not going to write it up there, obviously. Okay, so now I just do the normal expansion that we did earlier. So I do PQ minus 4P plus 3Q minus 12. Do you need to write down the second one? For this one, yes. Just this once. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to, but I would like you to have a version of it there, because when we start doing non-monics and factorizing, we're actually going to use that shape. Yeah, no one on the video knows I dropped my pen. Don't tell them. Shh. Don't tell them. It's a secret. Shh. Learn maths. Any of you ever seen Inspector Gadget? I'll get you, Gadget, next time.
What the hell are you on about? Not a nerd.
What do you mean a nerd? Inspector Gadget. Do 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 do.
I'm not comfortable with it.
No, not the movie. No. Inspector Gadget. Do 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 do. Mad Cat. Come here, Mad Cat. I think we're. Oh no, I want to do this one. All right. So what are we going to do on this one? This one. Okay. You can't actually quite do that, and I'll show you why. Instead of doing this one the way it's written, let's rewrite it so it looks more like this one up here. Yeah, it would exactly. Well done. Now, we have a special name for that we'll get to later. It's called a perfect square, but we'll talk about that later. At the moment, let's just do this. Did you guys want to use the FOIL method, or do you want to use a split? It's up to you. FOIL. I prefer FOIL, but I don't want to force you guys into a particular method. I want you to see them. Okay, let's do FOIL. So first by first, a squared. Then what? Let's go plus 5a. And then plus 5a. Then plus 25. Is there any like terms? Excellent. So what are we left with? Close. We don't square them when we're adding them. You're only adding. You've got 5a. What's 5 apples plus 5 apples? How do you like them apples? See what I did there? 10 apples. They're not squared. You only square when you're multiplying. Okay? On the square. Harsh. All right. Is that all right with you guys? Now, the question in red over on the right-hand side says, is there a quick way of doing this? Now, Butch, you were very, very close, but you missed a bit. What did you say the answer was?
A squared plus B squared.
Which is that bit and that bit. So you squared the first one and you squared the last one. What's the middle part? Which is? Close. You do multiply them together.
The inners and the outers.
We'll come to it later, but if you have a look, what was the number? We got a 5 there, right?
Yeah.
So when you multiplied the 5 and the A, you got 5A, right?
Yeah.
But then you ended up with 10A, which is double that product, right? And that works every time. You end up with square the first, square the last, and double the product. So that is a shortcut we will learn when we're doing perfect squares. You don't have to remember it now, but we will learn it. Cool? Is everyone happy with those?
Yes.
Everyone happy with FOIL?
Yes. I'm great.
Sorry?
What do you prefer?
So you got two options. You got foil or glad wrap. That's what you were saying, isn't it? Cling wrap.
Sir, Mr. Player. Look,
It won't pause. It looks like I need a proxy. Cancel for a sec.